Welcome to the Fifth Trooper podcast.
Hello and welcome back to the Fifth Trooper podcast, season 4, episode 2. We're here. It's Jay Shalansky. That's me, and Evan Bulris.
Hey, how's it going? Other way. How's that look for you? Is it left? Am I left or right of you?
You're on my left. I'm on, yeah.
Okay, all right.
My left, which is pointing right, which is
there you go.
Yeah. Anyways, hey, thanks for joining us, everyone. Evan and I are back. I'm sure you've heard by now of season 4, episode 1 was a smashing hit. People seem to enjoy it, so we're gonna keep going. Yeah.
Yeah.
How you doing, bud? You're doing all right?
Doing great.
Yeah.
Had I'm all full of a bunch of meats, a bunch of pork chops.
Nice.
I'm ready to go.
We had chicken and waffles today for breakfast brunch.
Always gotta one up me, huh?
Yeah.
Like
I made them. Rachel didn't even make it this time.
Okay.
It was me. I made.
Right,
she was. We're getting ready for Halloween and all that stuff, and she was busy and feeling a little bit down because we've taken so long to get the Halloween decorations out, and so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make you breakfast. So I made chicken and waffles and eggs, fresh eggs. So that was good.
Yeah, I meant to message her that the 12-foot skeleton was in stock, but I didn't message her because I knew that'd be Jay putting together a 12-foot skeleton. So
I'm really upset.
It was there's a sort of Damocles hanging over me, and I wasn't ready to like.
We already handmade that whole skeleton.
Yeah, so I didn't push it.
No. But all right, let's hit some housekeeping real quick. So in the housekeeping segment, Evan, why don't we talked about last week. So Evan has a Twitch channel where he does all this cool streaming. He's the Renaissance man of streaming over there, where you never know what he's going to do each week. I've enjoyed it when I've jumped in for the short bursts of time that I have to jump in. So what anything you're up to now that people could come check out?
Lately, I'm actually going to start painting. I've got my easel and painting. I want to do a Bob Ross style, but it turns out Bob Ross uses oils.
Yeah.
And I bought acrylics.
Oh.
So I think it can still be done. So I'm going to try that. So if you want to, I've never painted before. So if you want to watch a guy really do bad at painting but really think he's doing okay, there's that. I've been playing 1,000-Year-Old Vampire. It's a single player pen and paper.
Oh yeah.
Where you go through vampire and you do awful things because you're a bad vampire man. But no, I'm actually it's a lot of fun. I just kind of do whatever because it's fun. And if you watch long enough, I'll make you a raccoon.
Yeah, I would. We talked about this a little bit last week, but I jumped into one of them where it was making somebody a raccoon, and it was legitimately the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen, and fun in a fun way though. Not
it was
not a bad way.
So I always get these. So when I say that, so the first one I've ever got, I'm like, well, what do you want, buddy? You want a little spaceman? I got a little old timey space helmet I could put on, give him a little ray gun. I want the main character from Silent Hill 1. I'm like, okay, well, that's not what I had ready. So just whatever you want, I'll do. So it's a good time.
And that's twitch.tv/space_husky.
Yep.
All right. So they could check you out there. All right. So let's get on to some more housekeeping. You can, as always, join us on our Patreon. That money helps us with the blog writers, helps us with all the equipment for the podcast and stuff, and helps us keep all this stuff going. And that's patreon.com/Fifth Trooper. And basically, we have another podcast on there called The Fifth Trooper After Dark, where we get a little bit more nuanced and in detail on, like, for instance, Mike Dashes and I, we'll deep dive into list building or something like that, or for Legion, or we did last week, we did a live Q&A about anything. We actually had quite a bit of people on there last week, and they joined us for a live Q&A and got to ask us all kinds of questions about Legion or Stormtide, or how we do things. So that was a ton of fun. Really enjoyed that. So yeah, if you want to support us at any dollar level, you get the podcast for free. And then also, if you go at the higher dollar levels, our highest one you get if you're a member for a year, you get a free mat, one of our mats that we designed, plus some other stuff we try to send out every quarter. So if you want to support us, go over to patreon.com and check that out. The last little piece of housekeeping I did want to let you know is we're actually going to start. We have started, not going to start, but have started selling miniatures. So we have some unique designs that are actually out of our Stormtide narrative campaign, but I believe that could work for whether it's Legion or the Star Wars RPG or any like sci-fi opera RPG. We have a number of really cool miniatures that we teamed up with Skullforge Designs. And actually, so there's a bunch on there. 6 of them was a team up with myself and Lumberjack Nick. He actually did some cool renderings, drawings of them, and then I did some more like portrait-esque drawings, and then Jordan over at Skullforge did the mini sculpts. And so those are all available. You could get those on the fifthtrooper.com. And also, if you're into Stormtide or maybe haven't taken the plunge in the Stormtide, we're going to probably in a few weeks, once box 3 goes out, we're going to put together boxes 1 through 3 in a pack, and we're going to sell that on its own. So if you've been hesitant because you didn't really want to get into the monthly deal, understood, no problem. But you can buy it as a 3, the first quarter, and get all the stuff, which is really cool. So that's that. So, all right. So that was housekeeping. Evan, let's have a little chat. I don't want to get too crazy here,
Sure.
But on November 6th, we have a tournament at Just Games in Rochester, New York. This is a fun tournament. Nothing really on the line except for glory and fun. What are you thinking? What are you thinking you're going to bring, pal?
Oh, so that's a good question. Because, right. So I want to do another like Highlander kind of thing, or maybe even pseudo Highlander where I take it. Cause I want to do the Republic, but I don't want to do clone Rex
Clone
like
spam,
Death Star. Yeah, I want to do, but if I do clone spam, it'll be phase 1s.
Yeah.
Right. Like I want to play stuff I've got this thing where I always want to do well with bad units. It's like a test to myself. So I was gonna do like Anakin, Padme, R2D2, because I think that's a cool thematic like start, and then just have phase 1s, fill out the rest, maybe one of each gun. Like I'll have like to the Highlander rules that we're doing before. I might do each phase 1 has a different phase 1 gun
upgrade. Yeah,
a phase 1 upgrade, and then like I was trying not to like play like arcs too much, so I might do like 1 strike team just to, because you need something even in Highlander list for like Imperial and Rebels. You still take 1 sniper team, right? Like that you just need to kind of even like threaten the sniper war. So I was gonna do something like that actually. I think Anakin's a lot of fun. He's maybe not good. I'm not like, jury's still out. I've played him a few times. When he gets rolling, he's a powerhouse, but like it's actually really tough to, it feels like I'm cheating sometimes because I'm forgetful about all the triggers you need to do for the suppression on him, right? Like I've only played him like 3 times so far, 3 or 4 times, but when you put that card out, like that trigger of like he always has to go first, or he has to be within range of friendly, and then like those trigger every time for the suppression, right? And I forget a lot, honestly, and so like he might be even performing better than he should be with me, because I just like I remember the one I played on that turn kind of thing. So like all of them that they actually hang out and stack, or I forget he has the keywords, because you know what? That's a good 5th trooper. Get a 5th trooper idea. Like a thing that can go under an Anakin card that has all of his abilities. Like if you've played this, you have this. If you played this, you have this. Mm-hmm. Kind of like, so you can always look down and be like, did I play my 1 pip? Like, because it's almost like I almost have to write it on my hand or the inside of my arm and be like, outmaneuver. Yes, because I do have outmaneuver, right? Like it's so that's that. Or I might do like Obi Annie. Like that's a lot of points, and I also agree, not good, just because you're so top heavy on 2 guys doing all the work, and one cares about the army, the other really doesn't. So that'd be fun too. Just something weird and not like Rex clone, generic clone commander. Even though I did find finally an Anakin on Asmodee, and then one of the upgrade packs. Asmodee's website has Mauls and Anakins right now.
Oh, okay.
So if you're looking for a Maul, I know they had them there as of last week. I know our local store got them in. So like they're around now. So if you've been looking for them for the past 10 months, like I have, they don't pay more than retail. Like they exist in the wild. But I think that's what I'm gonna do just to try something different. I don't know. What are you gonna bring?
I don't know. I'm between Empire and Rebels, and I really have two list ideas for each one, right? And both there in each one there's a definitive competitive list, and then one that I'm like, I don't know how this is going to do, but it would be fun to play. So I'll start with Rebels. My definitive competitive list for Rebels is going to be a double airspeeder list. Okay. So I'm thinking of two airspeeders. This is a common. I think this is a meta list, but it's basically two airspeeders, a generic commander R2. I think it's 3 veterans with their heavy weapons upgrade, and 3 of the MKs, and then 2 snipers. It's like 12 activations. Very competitive list, but you know, like, is that really what I want to bring? Hold on, I'm getting into Legion HQ for my.
Yeah, I'm actually building it right now that you were talking about it. Just to see what we're at for. Oh no, that's Pathfinders. Get out of here. You still
here? Yeah. So Rebel R2D2 Rebel vets, 3 Rebel vets with their heavy upgrade, the CMO 93, 3 medium blaster troopers, airspeeder with power harpoon, link targeting array, airspeeder with wedge, power harpoon, and link targeting array, and then 2 snipers for 12 activation, 793 points.
So did you think you could do? I mean, since you're 1 point over, let's say, could you double up on Hotshot Pilot? But you're at 801 for to have a double Hotshot Pilot, but you could do like, you could drop it's the activation. Also, you could drop the Rebel Officer, put Shiv in there, but then you don't really have a way to make it up. Maybe R2D2. I mean, how? So let's do that. Let's give 1 Shiv, and then say R2. Like you could do you're still at 12. Both have the power harpoon. Wedge is a point, who cares? He's in so they don't have linked, but you have Shiv and then R2. But I played a version of what you were talking about earlier, like your original list, and it's good. Like it's a gun line with 2 things that if you don't have anti-armor will just run over you or some way to deal with them.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, and that's like a super, that is very much a try hard list, right? And so there's that. The other one I was thinking of was kind of a bonkers list. I don't know if I saved it, but I'll give you kind of some of the, and I think this one could be sneaky competitive, which, you know, is fine. But basically I was looking at doing like a, it would basically be like a Han, Chewie. Let's see, what did I have? Hold on.
Han, Chewie.
Han,
go ahead.
Yeah, so I had Han, Chewie, 3 naked rebel troopers, Wookiee warriors, a land speeder with outer rim space jockey. That's the one that gives you cover. Rifle gunner, gonk droid, Mark II medium blaster, and then onboard comms channel, and a 5 speeder truck with reckless driver, unorthodox technician, unstable R5, the quad laser, and then onboard comms channel. Okay. And I was gonna name it Chewie's delivery service, and just put either Han or Chewie in the land speeder, and then the Wookiees in the truck, and just like race them into the enemy lines and just like dump everybody in there, and then have the truck and the speeder and the truck just like flying around like messing with people.
Oh sure,
you know,
that's not bad. Like I was looking at that sounds like at least it's fun, right? Because you'll get some cool stuff off, right? Like I know in the last AMG stream they leaked that Han will have getting steady.
Yeah, I saw that too.
which is fine. I really think you should have a sharpshooter 2 and just make him like when Han gets near you, you should be frightened, right? Because he's range 2 with 2 red, sharpshooter 2. He's removing 2 models a turn. Like that should be scary.
Yeah.
Steady 2 just means you still remove just instead of 4 models a turn, you're probably removing 2 and whatever. Maybe it's good. But at that point, so I was thinking of like other goofy Gar lists that would be fun to play that I'm not super like my heart's not like super set on. Is like, man, I actually was playing a lat with Hound and Grizzer and clones. It's not bad. Like so Hound and Grizzer, if you don't know, is as an action, you gain observe 4, and observe token lets you reroll. So observe 4 says put 4 observe tokens at enemy unit range 1 to 3 and in line of sight. They gain 4 observe tokens. So what observation tokens do is you can spend 1 to reroll 1 die. So that's better than an aim. So if you're gonna just aim fire anyway, why not just observe and fire?
Yeah.
And with 1 to 3 is a little bit shorter, but with high energy shells. So you're throwing the same thing like with the Baron. My favorite lat list was with the Baron in Empire because you can just recover fire each turn, and it's really pretty good actually. This you get 3 red, 3 black, and a white with 4 rerolls and critical 1. Sounds okay. I don't know, like it seems all right. So that might be fun. I really want to use Anakin, but as soon as so I added Hound and Grizzer, a high energy shell, and HQ uplink to the lat. I'm like, okay, 140 points. That's okay. Like it's gonna fly around. It might drop some guys off. Oh, I bet I could put Anakin in there, and that'd be a really good way to get him in there. That's just Anakin's problem, right? Is like getting to the fight. But him built in the way that is quote unquote the best way to build him. He's like 185 points. So I'm already at 331, and I haven't even touched anything else. And clones just go up from there, right? Like it's I'll be running a lot of like naked phase ones just to get this like shenanigans to work, and I don't know about that. So it's I really like the lat. I'm still experimenting with it. I still think it's bad. Again, it's when we looked at it on paper, I would, if you asked me like when it came out, I said it's bad, don't play it.
Yep.
Like just forget about it. If you want to play fun, sure. But if you want to go to like tournament and win, don't bring the lat, it's holding you back. But that said, I started playing with it more, and the Empire one when I brought to ACO did really well. It was all-star. And then I played 1 or 2 games with the clone lat. And the clone lat has a problem of it's not phase 2s. So why am I even like thinking about it? Especially in TTO where I don't have to buy anything. Where it's just like, yeah, all right, I have 6 phase 2s, whatever. But it's not bad. Like I did that Hound and Grizzer thing. So just like aim fire. I mean, sorry, observe fire. Like it's okay. Like
it sounds pretty good. Let's see what else. What else was ugly? Oh, Empire. Yeah. So Empire, I was looking at a list called Tanks for the Memories. and it's gonna be Veers, 3 shore troopers, no heavy upgrade, 3 mortars, 2 E-webs with link targeting array, and 2 tanks with the Pintle and onboard comms channel. So basically what you're doing is you're giving your orders to the tanks, which give orders to the E-webs, which then get aims. And then you give your 3rd order, on your 3 pip turns, you give your 3rd order to Veers, and then he hands out 2 aims to the tanks and then they just roll in and start shooting stuff. And basically when you roll in, you've got the tanks, which with the Pintle, are what? Well, you could do the Pintle, or you could do the Pintle's going to be what? 3 red, 4 white, and 2, or yeah, is that right? What? Hold on one second. This is being weird. 3 red, 3 red, 3 white, and 2 black.
Okay.
So you're coming in with an aim with that, and then you have the E-webs, which have a red, 2 black, 2 whites with an aim. And you can actually, if you don't move, you have 2 actions with the tanks don't move, you get 2 actions with the E-web, so you can aim and shoot. So they could potentially have 2 aims and then shoot.
Okay.
And then the tanks can both have an aim and shoot. So that's that one. And then the fourth one I think I'm between is a Vader Callus.
Oh, Vader Callus is good.
It's
It's
Vader Callus list that I have.
it's Vader Callus. You can do some wacky things, especially if you get the bid and you get recover the supplies.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can make some really powerful plays with that. It's just a shame that we're like the rest of the world has the new models, and it's like who the heck knows where the US ones are? Because I'm like, man, I'd like to do Grievous with the Magma Guard.
Yeah.
It just looks cool, right? Again, like I'm just playing for cool at this point.
Yeah.
Because then I'm like, oh, Cad Bane's like the worst bounty hunter. And I was playing against our friend Grammar, and Cad Bane dived in, killed Chewie, no consequences, got out and ran with the bounty. That's the only time he's ever done anything for me. And I was a big Cad Bane advocate when he came out. I'm like, he was fine. He'll be good.
Yeah.
He's the worst hero in the game. So I'm like, do I do T series and Cad Bane and just, like, let's go. Like, let's get some sniper strike teams. There's 2 of those. Let's see, give me 3 of those. And I got a bunch of points left. How about, there's just nothing left to even take. Like, it's got 6 core, 3 sniper, Cad Bane, T series, and I don't know. How about you, Droidica? No, I'll have to jump that down. But I was thinking about doing that because that's just fun.
Yeah.
Like, Cad Bane's so bad. He's so bad. It's just you can't go in for the kill. Like Boba can maybe just survive, right? He's got red surges on defense, so maybe he just won't die and he moves 3 with jump. Boss can just shoot from range 4 with suppressive.
Yeah.
You can do that. Cad Bane has steady with range 1 to 2, 4 black dice, pierce 1. Okay. I mean, Kaboom, the I make the rules now is cool. I don't know, but just I'd probably be the only person to bring Cad Bane, and that kind of makes me happy. So I might.
I like that. I mean, you
I
may
might
get
do
some
think-
surprises in there that no one's ever seen before, right?
But I just still remember that stream. It's on our channel somewhere of like, I spent all night, like, oh, I spent all night painting Cad Bane, Jay. I'm so excited to use them. And I put him down, and then your bikes see him, and then like 2 shots, and then he's gone, and the bikes just fly over his body as I like dump, like, hit it on the way back, and I'm like, thanks,
okay,
Jay.
Nice paint job.
I did the water effects and everything.
Well, hey, good. He's gonna drown in the puddle of water effects on his base now.
Just lay down. He'll just lay down. That's what I was gonna do.
But yeah, so we got this tournament. I really like playing for fun. That Highlander list thing that we did and we talked about last week on the podcast was great, and I really enjoyed that event. And so, I think all of us have that like competitive streak in us, so we like want to build these competitive lists. But I want it to be fun too. So like, I think I'll probably bring either the double tank list or that weird speeder truck list.
Yeah. Hey. Truck is good. Truck can carry.
Yeah.
Truck's
Probably
like OP Luke, where you can just carry.
Double tank, because I love Empire and I can't really
let
it go.
So yeah, I mean, I approve of whatever you do, Jay, but
yeah,
that tank, I don't know.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to the next thing. One of the things I wanted to talk about, Evan, was, we were on the Scoundrels the other day and talking about like the Discord server and all that stuff. And it came to my attention. I kind of mentioned it on the cast, but then I was thinking about it from, I mentioned on the cast, and then afterwards, a couple of people are like, what is this Discord server that you speak of, right? So I want to take a second here and just talk about all the community places that you can join in the conversation about Legion. So Facebook, in my estimation, there's really 3 Facebook groups that I would recommend people be a part of there. And we'll put all the links, whether you're listening to this on the audio podcast or on YouTube, I'll put all the links in the description of the podcast. But basically, there's 3 groups. There's a main Legion, Star Wars Legion group. That one, there's a lot of Star Wars Legion groups that are called Star Wars Legion group, but the main one has like 20,000 plus group members. So that's the one I recommend joining. There's one that is Legion Painting. That's people basically posting like and asking questions about the hobby as far as painting and putting together miniatures and all that. And then the final one is there's a Legion Terrain group that's actually run by, I believe, Sean Morris from Terrain Studio and Legion Academy. So those are the three main Facebook groups I would recommend joining, because the general group, you're going to get a lot of conversation about rules, about minis, about like all kinds of stuff. Where if you want to go a little bit more niche and want to just talk about painting your minis, the painting group is really good. And if you just want to talk about terrain, the terrain group's really good. And so there's those. Then there is also a Discord group called the Legion Discord, and that is another I believe there's another like 17,000 people in that, probably some of the same, I would guess, but there's a ton of people in that group as well. And that one, frankly, that group is more of a competitive group. So even though there is a ton of really cool sub channels on there about like different things you can build and terrain and let's see, what else they got, battle reports, they've got creative hobby stuff, so they've got hobby Q&A, terrain and table, stuff like that. And then we have our own subset of channels on there for Stormtide. But yeah, so those are really the four main groups I recommend joining. So if you ever hear us talking about the Legion Discord group or the Facebook group, these are the places.
Yeah, no, I don't really have too much to add to that. Then yes,
For,
those are the
those
are the big places. Actually, even if you're just a casual like me, you lurk, you just kind of read things go. That's also usually the first place like breaking Legion news comes out. So if there's like a leak, or if there's a leak in the boat, if there's or like a new article drops, or AMG says something, that's usually the like millisecond after they say it goes in there. So it's also a good way just to keep up on like what's going on, right? And not having to be out of the loop so much. So even if you don't actively participate, I just join and I lurk and I read, so I can find what's going on.
Yeah, I think that's good. And then now listen, the next two are unfortunately going to be a little self-serving, and I'm sorry about this, but we also have two really good tool sets. So if you haven't had a chance and you're looking to build your Legion lists, and you're trying to put together lists with current points and all that stuff, we have a list builder tool called Legion HQ. That's at legionhq.thefifthtrooper.com. And that basically, like when Evan and I were just talking about what lists we're going to be bringing to the next event, we were on there building our lists. And so we keep that up to date. We keep that with the point adjustments and any keywords from the RRG that are adjusted. So that's a cool tool if you guys need that. And then the other cool tool that we have as well is called Legion Quick Guide, and that's at legionquickguide.com. And basically what this is a really simple mobile friendly way to get rules. So let's say you're at a tournament like we're going to be at on the 6th, and there's a rules question that you and your opponent don't know. You go to legionquickguide.com, maybe put the app on your home screen or something of your phone, click on it, and it just is basically an alphabetical listing. So you can scroll down to A and find all the rules under A, like activation and agile, X and attack pool and authoritative, like everything under A is there, and that's how you look it up. And so those are just some really cool tools for you guys to have while you're playing the game or looking to build out your lists. So I thought I'd mention those. Yeah, you got it. You sure, Evan?
It's all up here.
It is?
It's all in the old cranium.
Oh, good. You're doing great, Evan.
Am I?
Yeah.
Am I?
You know what? Speaking of Evan and doing great, we have a segment that we're going to do, I don't know how often, but every once in a while. It is something the one you're about to witness is the best word I can use for what's going to happen next. What you're about to witness is something we actually recorded before. I don't know how many of you have seen or heard it, but it's really funny. And we want to do these every once in a while. We have a couple more we're working on now. But basically, I'm going to kick it off. It's called Raccoon Preview.
Hey everybody, it's your boy, Evan the Raccoon here, coming at you with a new unit review. This one is the B2 Super Battle Droids. Now, first thing to know about these guys is they're one of the first core units that have Armor 1, so that means if you put them behind a heavy cover's worth of trash, you know, maybe a half-on-fire dumpster, or a bag of trash after Christmas, or maybe behind a nice dining establishment, the only thing that's going to get them from a sniper is a crit. I mean, what are the odds of that, right? They can't roll a crit every time, right? Jay, right? All right, he says right. So, as I was sipping on my favorite puddle of Mountain Dew next to behind the Taco Bell, I was thinking, man, the unit's new B4HA gun also has blast, so why don't we just call it the Baja Blast for all intensive purposes? It has blast, range 2 to 3, 2 red and a white. It cycles, so, you know, you can fire it over here, wait a turn, you know, take a rest, take a nap, then fire it over there. My little paws aren't so long, but you get the idea, am I right? Yeah, am I right? So these units make me feel a certain kind of way. It's like some Orwellian nightmare where all the trash cans that I have yet to have gone to or have already gone to are coming to life in some sort of Skynet, Legion, Google attempt to take my raccoony life. And I don't know how I feel about that. It's like all of my nightmares coming true, and I can't really deal with it. I say some crazy things sometimes. Sometimes you just stare into the void and you look and you hope something doesn't stare back. But, you know, trash cans and stuff, am I right, guys? Yeah!
So that was Raccoon Review. Evan, tell us about it. Tell us a little bit about Raccoon Review, Evan.
So we thought it was going to be funny. Rachel and Jay made this great little stage.
Let me add. If you were only listening to that on the audio version, there is a video component.
we posted it a while ago and it didn't get much traction. And as you just heard, like the B2s, their gun. Let me pull it up real quick. It's called I call it the Baja Blast, and I thought it's the B2HA, and I thought that was hilarious and that would catch on because it's great. It's great. Who doesn't love that Mountain Dew, I guess? But no one got it. When I say it, people go, haha. And I'm like, oh, come on. Like, so it was a great bit. We had a good time with it. We'll be doing some more. It's hard to just not make low-hanging jokes about no units showing up in the US anymore, but they'll be there. That fruit is just too ripe. It was a lot of fun. Actually, we did a lot more takes than right because you got to do a bunch to get the right thing how we want to do it. And I have more respect for puppeteers now than because that little he just has a little thing like this. So I'm on the floor with my arm up in the air, and I'm like doing it and reading this paper, and then we're like again, and I'm like, I am a rock. It just got to the end where I'm just like, I am a raccoon.
That was a ton of fun. So Rachel and I built out the whole little puppet theater. We found this great raccoon puppet, cut a hole in the bottom of the box if you guys watch it on the YouTube, and then Evan was puppeteering it. And I thought it was I buried it in when we did it the first time. We did a unit review back when we were trying this show called The Fifth Trooper Spoiled, where we were going to spoil new units coming out and talk about them. It didn't go very far, but we buried this review kind of inside that, and so I really enjoyed it, and I thought you guys might too. And I think what's going to happen in the future is, even if you listen to that, there's some ridiculous stuff in there, but I think there's also little nuggets of truth. So we're hoping to bring you guys some reviews that are fun and maybe a little informative, but we won't be doing those every episode, but expect more of those. I just
Yeah.
want to like bring that back up to the surface of your brain that those exist. And so yeah. So if you only listen to the audio version, I highly recommend you watch it on the YouTube version of the episode, and plenty more where that came from. Right, Evan?
Definitely. Yeah, 100%. That was a good time. So we'll do that. Get some scripts, and yeah, you'll see some soon. TM. soon.
Soon TM. All right. Yeah, so let's you know what I want to talk a little bit about, Evan, is kit bashing. I
Okay.
don't know how popular this is in our community of Star Wars Legion, so I thought maybe we could explain it for newer players, and then talk about what it is and you know, how to do it and why you
Yeah.
do it, and etc. So Evan, why don't you give us kind of a little roundabout of what kit bashing is?
Okay, so kit bashing is when you take parts. So normally when you buy a model, like now they're all sprued, right? For the most part, so you got your sprue, and they give you more or less just enough to make your model, right? And you might have some extra hands, very little though. And what kit bashing is for example, in my arc, not my arc, I'm sorry, my lat on the inside, I have, because I bought 3 things of the ISF models, I had an extra Delmico and Gideon. And so this is very light, not very light thing what I'm doing, but then I put them inside the lat as like gunners, right? That's not where they belong on the model, but it's inside is like the open like drop zone in the back.
Yep.
It looks really cool. Or you could even do stuff like hey, you see, it's funny because like Grievous, he comes with enough stuff where you can kind of kit bash him to do whatever, but it's more like you take different parts from different models to make your own custom model. Just something you think looks cool. Like a lot of people would take the lightsaber off Luke and put it on a stormtrooper because there's that one off comic that was pretty cool that like a stormtrooper had a lightsaber, right? And you can do like mixing parts from different models. It's really more popular in like 40K, where sometimes like that model just you can't buy it, but you can make it and it counts as something. Smash Captains in 8th edition were a thing, or you have to take like 3 different model kits to make one dude. But it's taking different parts from different models and kind of creating your own model out of the deal. Legion, it doesn't happen that much, which is surprising because there's so much cool, deep stuff going on. But 40K, it's a big thing. And actually, when you used to go to events, when they judged you, like how's your painting, how's your thing, it's like, did you kit bash a model? Like, gives you points. Like, did you be creative with it? So that's not really a thing that happens in Legion. And not saying it doesn't happen a lot, but it's not as mainstream accepted as it is in 40K.
I wonder too, because I think with Legion, like we're kind of steeped in the history and the universe that like I feel like for Legion and stuff, if it doesn't exist in like canon, then like people are like, I'm not going to do that then, you know what I mean? And so for me, and what I'll do is I'll put pictures on the YouTube version here. But, you know, for me, one of the things I kit bashed is I took an ATST, and like what I like to do is with all my units, like if you guys ever play me in person with any of my units, I don't generally do just like straightforward paint schemes or like modeling. Like I always come up with a story. So like all my stormtroopers look completely different because some of them, like for instance, there's the capes ones. Yeah. So basically with those guys, they got stranded on this desert planet and they like had to like survive. And so they basically killed some creature on that planet and you made like capes and hoods out of this creature's like hide, and so they've got these like hoods and capes on and they're all like dirty and filthy and like all this like blaster marks on them and stuff. But like I'm building an entire army now that I'm working on that has an ATST in it, and like that one I've been kit bashing, and like that same, it's kind of all my concepts with the stormtroopers seem to be the same. And Empire was like, the Empire fell and in this like battalion was stuck on this planet, right? So they're going to be this like swamp planet. All my stormtroopers are actually going to be mud troopers.
Cool.
So you can get Skullforge Studios actually does some similarly looking things that may or may not be mud troopers that you can get. And so like my whole army's going to be mud troopers, and then like all my vehicles basically, and you'll see pictures here, but like there's like ropes around the vehicle where they're like holding things in place to like they, you know, they got a hole blasted in the side of the ATSD and they had to use some paneling to cover it up, stuff like that. And I love kit bashing.
Yeah, no, that's you see, even if you don't want to change the model, for example, like my clones are all Tron themed. When I get to them, like I have some that are, so they're, I bought the premium bases that they put out. I don't think they even make them anymore. I'm not sure. They're like the Starship bases. So I painted them black, and I used like neon acrylic for the insides to make it kind of looks like a glow effect because of the contrasted color. And I just sprayed my clones black. I dry brushed different colors on, like green or blue. And my Obi-Wan Kenobi's Jeff Bridges. My Padme is going to be Glitch from Legacy, right? Like, so it's like kit bashing doesn't have to even be like if you want to put extra parts on the model, right? Just crazy paint schemes and like cool ideas can kind of be that too. So if you're not comfortable with cutting up a model, just like doing cool stuff, like adding like now with the silhouette rule, doesn't really matter, right? Like if you want to like, hey, I really want my I've got these extra, like what happens a lot with, I know with the ISF and the sprue is like you'll have extra gun or hands, and like you just cut the hand off the gun, and you strap it to the back of your stormtrooper, like it's just an extra gun he's carrying around. That's kit bashing, right? And like, hey, no, this is extra gun, or like,
well, and
having different like poses and stuff.
Yeah, and one of the reasons why I wanted to bring it up was so our boy Timbo, he writes for us on the blog. He is out of Canada, and he got the Wookiees and Yoda and everything. Well, in the Wookiees, like now that they've put everything on sprues, there's a lot of extra parts. And so like the Wookiees have like guns and holsters, they have swords for like their back and stuff. And so I was like, yeah, we should really talk about this, because I think you could I would love to like take those swords and put them on the back of like a stormtrooper, right? And like, again, that story that I'm telling myself is that, you know, they saw these stormtroopers are like on this planet and they got stuck or something, and like so they're just grabbing any weapons they can, and they've got like swords on their back, and you know. So
they do roll black dice and melee, and they surge to hit, so they're technically better at melee than they're shooting. So
and the interesting thing with Star Wars is it's not really one of those WYSIWYG games, right? So it's not a what you see is what you get, where you have to use the weapon that you've put on your mini's hand. So you could do anything you want. And I really wanted to encourage people from a hobby perspective to start doing that and like creating really cool stuff. The question's going to come up for most of you is that going to be tournament legal? And the answer is depends on the tournament. So most local tournaments will probably say yes, especially now that we have silhouettes, right? It doesn't matter what the mini really looks like anymore. Then some of the major events, depending on whether it's a like full OP AMG, it used to be FFG, but AMG event, I think the rule is that at least at its base, it had to have been an original model from AMG.
It used to be like, it has to be 50% of it still has to be the original model. And like, so here's the thing, if you're doing something extreme, like my Han isn't Han, I'm going to use Dash Rendar, which to me is just cool, right? Like, I mean, then you could replace Chewie with Lebo. Like, you know, like that's super cool. The first thing you do is like, hey, you tell your opponent, hey man, this is my Dash and Chewie. Do you mind if I use these, you know, my models? I've never heard anyone say no. But there could be like, hey, no, I'd rather you use the real thing. So carry
always
a
carry
backup
the other
spare.
One.
Carry, even if not painted, doesn't matter. Like just carry them just in case. Also, when you get to like Jay was saying, the higher end events, I've never seen this happen in all the years of playing Legion, but they could say, hey, you need to use official model. So just keep them with you as spares. Like, again, just, you know, build them, glue them to base, whatever. But if you want to use something different and cool, just always ask. Especially if it's just like Jay's doing, like the guy's got like a cape on his back. no one cares, right? You know, like no one's gonna be like, well,
I mean, yeah, like one of the other things I did was on my snow troopers, on the flame trooper, I had these giant flames coming out of it.
Yeah.
And so before we had silhouettes, everyone's like, of course you can use those because that's part of the model and I'll be able to shoot it. And
Yeah.
you know, so
yeah.
But with silhouettes, I think for the most part, it makes everything like, yeah, no matter how tall, short, it doesn't matter what it is, right? At
Yeah,
that
just
point.
put the silhouette on. So like that fixes a lot of issues just for doing cool stuff. Like General Grievous and Luke aren't like nightmares now, right? You're like, because I want my General Grievous to be like, you know, like let's go. But if you do that, that's I could see the tip of his lightsaber. All guns fire on that man. You know, like so no, I think it is a benefit for the game. But yeah, just always carry the original, just in case, and always if it's something wild. I mean, most people who play Legion love Star Wars. So if you came out, especially with like I wanted Luke from this thing instead of the Luke Commander, I'd be like, yeah, okay, you know, right, that's rad, right? Like, I'm in. But like I know Bushfax, our boy Bushfax, in his trunk he has like 5 Lukes, and so he's just like, I'm playing Return, Last Jedi Luke, right? He's just got like a whole thing of Luke, so it's he's always ready for that outcome.
Yeah, you know, I just realized too, as we were talking about that, but maybe if some of you who are listening are new, you may not know what silhouettes are.
Oh, yeah.
So silhouettes came out a few, like, I don't know, at this time, a year ago or so. They're in the RRG, which is the extended rules edition that you can find currently on the Fantasy Flight website under Star Wars Legion. And basically, silhouettes are a rectangle that goes behind your trooper units and is used to see whether you have line of sight to shoot them. So before, for those of you that are newer, original Luke, Commander Luke that came in the box, you know, he's holding his lightsaber up. Well, if he was hiding behind some line of sight blocking terrain, but I could still see the tip of his lightsaber, guess who could shoot him? So that's no longer the case, right? So all trooper units, when playing in a tournament game, you use a silhouette to figure out what they are.
And honestly, like if you feel like the nightmare that you'll be using silhouettes all the time, maybe like once a game, I'm like, can we put that down just to see? Yeah, okay, right. And that it just, and then the other thing you could do with silhouettes, which I feel like nobody does enough, is you put the silhouette down and you say, hey, I'm trying to hide from that unit over there, can you see the silhouette? And you just can kind of keep moving your, like within your movement range, right? You keep moving the guy until he's like, nope, I can't see him. You're like, so we agree you can't see him? Yes. Intent declared, intent done. So it's not a feels bad when he's like, oh, well, I can see him. It's like, hey, we agreed that, you know, wait, I got the thing out.
And I would say 99% of the time, like gentleman's agreement works. And I would say even with that, I don't think I've even pulled out the silhouette. Like, I think people are like, I'm like, hey, my intention is to hide them behind this terrain so that you can't see them. Do you want me to put the silhouette down? And they're like, nah, I get it. Don't worry. Like, even if I could potentially see one, we're going to play it as I can. So just get them behind there and do what you can. It's like, okay, cool.
100%. And declaring intent is, no one does it enough. And that stops a ton of feels bad. Right, like, I should have. I was trying to hide them. I'm too late now. Right, like it's. But no, silhouettes are. At first, I was on the not a fan. But if you look at other games like Infinity, uses silhouettes, and other games who have like terrain systems if they don't have silhouettes, they have very specific rules about what you can see. So it just solves a lot of confusion. It's easy. It just anything that can make this easier, right, and let me do what I want with my models, I'm in.
But, you know, if you're at home, do whatever you want.
Oh, yeah. Just if you're at home, do whatever you want. Like,
you do whatever you want at home.
You want to put an ATST on the board and, like, let's fight it? I'm in. Or AT-AT, man. Let's go.
All right. So let's a couple more quick topics here. You know what? Let's just do the one. Let's talk about Kill Team.
Oh, yeah.
So we, Evan and I had a little get together on this past weekend, and we played Kill Team with a bunch of dudes, which is, for those of you that don't know, Games Workshop that does Warhammer and Lord of the Rings. They do Warhammer 40K, which is Star Wars adjacent universe, and they basically put out a box set that's like kind of like a board game,
Yep.
but is a version of their game, and it's called Kill Team.
And so it actually plays, the new version plays a lot like Legion, where it's back and forth activations per model. You move, you shoot, and it has like X-wing defense dice system where it's like you just roll, no matter how many times you hit, you roll 3 dice for your evade. It's actually pretty streamlined, and I'm gonna go so far as to say the best Warhammer product. Like I like 40K.
Whoa.
40K is its own thing. Best Warhammer product
Whoa.
to get people into, because
Yeah.
we had people come who had nothing to the event. They just like, I invited them like, hey man, I'm doing this event. Do you want to come and like check it out? And then they came in, they're realizing that like $60 was their buy-in, maybe 100 if they wanted like the little kit, like not too bad. No, not too bad. That's a full army, right? Especially for like Chaos Space Marines or something that doesn't need a lot.
Yep.
And a couple of them like got a kit and they started building them while we were there, and they played that same day, and like very quick and easy. And if you get the 2-player starter, like for the Octarius or the next one coming out, Sisters of Battle and Tau, that's 2 full armies and terrain and a board and everything for $200.
Yeah.
Like that's everything. I'm not like, you're not really giving up anything. So it's a great value for that kind of thing. I know I'm really like gushing over it, but I think we said last time was this is what Skirmish should have been.
Yeah.
For Legion.
And I think too, it's what it is too, is it's very, and the reason we're bringing it up here is it's very much like Legion. So what you can do is there's barricades in it. Turn orders are very like it's very similar to Legion. And I found, so I've played a number of games now, and like I found it's very like I would like the rules were easy, like I don't understand. The units still do unique stuff, but like the rules in general are relatively easy and very similar to Legion, where I could connect the dots, and go,
roll this many dice, this guy rolls that many dice, numbers, right? It's not too bad. And when we set the tables up, the terrain they come with works great. I set up the table, I built like I was talking about last time with the Death Ray design terrain, and I built the little Tokyo City, and that looked really good. Like I got a lot of compliments on that, and I was shocked. Like I hadn't actually put it together. Like I put the terrain together and I sprayed it the gray they recommended, and when you're looking at it bit by bit, I'm like, I don't know, I'm like maybe, but when I got it all on the table and like the acrylic kind of glowed, right? Because it's just light, how light hits acrylic, it makes it pop a little bit. Of the billboard signs and the barricades that I got for it, and like the sushi shack and the bus stop, and it all looked really good on this mat. And I got a lot of like people coming over to want to play on that mat, that table, because that looked really good. So no, I'm really and that was like total investment for a full table of Kill Team for the mat. I got from Frontline like a little Tokyo City mat, and then the train was like $150 for a full done, right? Like no more needed. You can barely buy a few pieces of train for larger games for that, right? To get it, build it, and like fill out a whole board. So your investment's lower. We talk about it. You'll probably hear us talk about it a few more times down the road here, just as like a side thing, because it's fun and quick, man. And like I still think Legion is a better larger scale game for me. Like I'd really rather play that than 40K when we're doing like if we got 3 hours to like, hey, like Jay and I get together, we go over to this place and we're like, hey, let's play a game of Legion today, and we kind of hang out and we have beer and we play, and it's like whatever. But if if we like, hey, we got like an hour and a half before we got to record or something, let's play a game of Kill Team, right? And just put it out, and like it even if you get trounced, it's over in like 45 minutes. You're like, all right, cool, whatever, right?
I like it, and I think it's fun, it's easy to do, and I think Legion could learn a lot from it, like we said. And I think for those of you that are Legion players, if you're looking for, it's just another option of a game to play. We're having fun with it, and I think there's some definite stuff you could take away and learn about Legion, right? And play and utilize in Legion. So
it's pretty cool. And that makes me, I'm chagrining that Nova didn't happen this year, because this was the year I was going to go get. I say it every year. A Fermatera, one of their fold-up battle tables to put out, and like, because so the room we were using were just like conference tables more or less, and they work good. They were fine, but they were just a hair too small.
Yeah.
And it's my work office, so I didn't want to lug in like a ton of stuff. Right. I was trying to keep it like, but they make Fermatera makes these portable game tables, and if anyone has any experience with them, please email us and let us know, because I'm on for what they're going for like $275 right now. That includes shipping. That's a lot. But like, if any of you have any reviews, I'm asking the community, please let us know what you think about them, because I always saw them at Nova, and this was a year I'm like, all right, here we go. And then, well, when COVID started, I'm like, not happening, right?
Yeah.
But let me know what you think about that, because before I pull the trigger, some reviews from people who use it would be cool.
All right, yeah, get those. Message us those reviews and
message Jay and tell him to get back to work.
Yeah, that's oh, that was good. Yeah, remember those days?
I do remember those days, because people still come up to me and like, hey Evan, get back to work. And I'm like, okay, that joke's been dead for like a year and
it's
a half.
never dead.
It's never
Everyone
dead.
look me in the eyes right now. It's never dead. You see Evan, you tell him to get back to work.
Never. I'll never get back to work because it's my time.
But yeah, all right. Well, I think that was a good episode.
Yeah.
Evan?
No,
Yeah.
I think I was I curtailed my Kill Team Love to about 10 minutes. So that's good.
Not bad. Yeah.
Not bad.
All good. I'm sure everyone's happy, or they've tuned out by now.
Hey,
Either one is fine.
Hey, if you're still here, awesome.
Kudos.
Thanks for listening all the way. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everybody. Join us next week on the Fifth Trooper podcast and all our other podcasts, Notorious Scoundrels, Fifth Trooper After Dark. And don't forget to go check out Evan on Twitch, twitch.tv/space_husky.
Oh,
and yeah, do that.
That's good. Rattled it off good. All right. Now say the plug.
All right. All right, everybody. We'll talk to you next week.
Everyone, stay rad.
Join us next week for another edition of the Fifth Trooper podcast.
This has been a Fifth Trooper production.